Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens, and this is Carly Stevens Books for all things writing, publishing, and indie author life. Today, we're going to talk about love scenes. Okay, so just a quick disclaimer. Generally, I keep this channel PG-13, I want it to be available for everybody. So I'm not going to get super explicit in the way that I am describing how to write love scenes. However, the subject matter is a little more mature than I would normally have in a video, so just a heads up there. So that's my initial disclaimer. The second thing I want to just get out of the way is that these tips and suggestions, these how-tos are helpful for people who are writing romantic subplots where there's just a kiss. This can go all the way from, closed door YA, very, non-explicit works all the way up to the very much explicit works as well. So these tips, you ramp up the language that you use. The observations that the characters make will get more explicit or less, depending on what genre, what audience, what relationship you're talking about in your story. So this is not only for people who are writing sex scenes, but it is for you as well. All right, so few other things that I think are important to say up front. No matter what love scene you're writing, I think it's extremely important to state or imply consent between all of the partners. I know that there is such a thing as non-con or dub-con stories out there. I'm not about that. So all of my stories and all the ones that I read are going to have that, again, stated or implied consent between the people. So if this is a kiss, for example, it's not like they need to say, "Can I kiss you?" Yes, but there should be this understanding that they're getting closer, nobody's pulling away, we all know what's coming, and you have the opportunity to say no and, have that be respected and honored between the partners. So yeah, let's get into it. How do you write a really good love scene? One thing is, let's deal with the choreography. Just like a dance scene, just like a fight scene, there are actually a lot of similarities between how you write a fight scene and how you write a love scene, but it's how you deal with the choreography. The twist or right hand here, left foot there, whatever. So you do want, on the one hand, clarity. You do want to know what is going on. You don't want to confuse people with, who these people are, or what's happening. This is one positive reason to write romances in first person. It's not like you need to, but it makes it simpler to indicate who's doing what, because one person is I, me, and the other person is he, she, or whoever it is. So you don't need to use names as often, you don't need to clarify as often, because we understand right out of the gate who is doing what or saying what words. So you do want clarity in your quote-unquote choreography, but it's easy to get caught up in that and lose what is much more compelling. Again, this can go with fight scenes too. If you're writing a fight scene and it's like, well, exactly the moves that people are making, okay, a certain personality will be focused on those. But what is going to make the scene memorable is probably not that. Much more likely it's going to be the internal experience of the main character having to do with this scene. So sorry, by the way, if there is a sound of wind in the background. It is a very windy day in Colorado today, so I debated not even filming this, but then I thought, well, let's just go for it and see how it goes. Okay, so we've got choreography out of the way, consent out of the way. Okay, so instead of choreography and that focus, instead, here are some things I think it's more important and compelling to focus on, no matter your heat level, however many chili peppers or lack thereof you have. Think about the interior thoughts of the character as this is happening, or like, for example, the short and sweet Christmas romance collection. Yes, I know it's like the summertime, but Anne Harrison is me. It's a pen name of mine. These are sweet Hallmark style romances, very short. And then there's one more coming out in July. So if you like A Christmas in July, there you go. So for example, you want to get interior with your main characters, right? What I'm going to read here is from Lexi and the Christmas Breakup. And so Lexi has just broken up with her longtime boyfriend. She thought he was going to propose. Instead, she found him cheating on her. She breaks things off. And now, without a place to stay in this small Christmassy village, she stays with this man and his father. And she starts falling for the son. So he raised one hand carefully and traced her jawline with a finger, like a question. Is this okay? His touch sent a thrill through her. Though her heart pounded so hard, she knew he could feel it. She didn't move away. So we do get choreography, right? He's touching her face. It's this careful thing. We get a sense of what they're both thinking. So she gets this thrill from something very simple. We get the tentativeness of him, and so there's more than just the choreography going on, but there's the reaction of each person to this kind of interaction. So some things you might want to consider as you're thinking about the interior experience of the main character in one of these scenes is the personality and the background of the character. Those should be absolutely central to what is happening. So in this, Lexi has just broken up with her boyfriend. She's only been with him for years, and now there's immediately afterwards this connection with another guy. And that's as steamy as it gets, folks, with these, although I've written much steamier as well. So think about, what is their personality? What is their background? How are they going to react? Are they somebody who is very experienced? Is it somebody who is experiencing this kind of thing for the first time? So a great example, I think, of a just fabulous personality-focused romance is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, about an autistic woman who basically gets lessons from a male escort, and they fall in love. But it's just charming. So toward the beginning of the story, they're kissing and kind of, getting used to each other is the idea. And she says, French kissing makes me feel like a shark getting its teeth cleaned by pilot fish. It was weird and far too personal. His eyes danced, and though he bit his lip, she could see a grin peeking around the edges of his mouth. Are you laughing at me? Hot shame burned her face. So she has this very visceral reaction to certain sensations, and for her, French kissing is like getting her teeth cleaned by a pilot fish. And it's so her personality is incredibly focused and talented at her job, for instance, but just very uncomfortable with intimacy and things like that, and she's afraid that she'll be misunderstood, and all of that really lends itself to this, these fabulous scenes as you move forward. So keep your characters in mind. It's not that we're here for the choreography. We're here for the characters. We're here for their experience. So what can you bring out of their personalities that will inform the way that the scene goes forward? The personalities and their background. So focus on thoughts, focus on feelings, not just tactile kinds of feelings, but emotions as well. Are they emotionally invested in this? Are they afraid? Are they excited? Whatever it might be. Associated with feelings are stakes. Are there stakes to this encounter that the two are having? It's very different to have a scene where you have a main character kind of learning the ropes, if you will, as opposed to somebody who is declaring their love for the first time and having a first kiss with somebody they've loved forever. Very, very different experience and emotion and stakes to that. So yeah, think about what is at stake. Sometimes that is central to the plot itself. So Neon Gods, we're looking at something that is very steamy here. And part of the plot is that Persephone is going to be, in the biblical sense, with Hades in order to kind of sully herself in the eyes of this person that she's engaged to but doesn't want to be engaged to, in the hopes that he'll break it off. So there are stakes when they're together that are not stakes in their relationship, but it's stakes for her and her life. So what are those stakes? Consider reactions. It's not going to be only the main character that is feeling and acting, but it's going to be the partner as well. So have them react to things positively, negatively. Communication is so important to making these scenes memorable, not only real sexy if that's what you're going for, but also just like emotionally impactful. The best is when you have those two together. So have your characters communicate with one another, even if they're kind of missing each other. Maybe their communication styles haven't really come together. Maybe one person thinks that kissing feels like being cleaned by a pilot fish and the other one does not. But having them verbally or physically kind of communicate their comfort level and things like that is quite important. Again, think about that personality, think about that background. What is it that they're going to react strongly to? What is it that they're going to like or dislike? What's going to make them uncomfortable just suddenly? Maybe if they've had a bad experience in the past that they need to then work through. Communication is not only part of really good love scenes, but good relationships, right? You want to see if this relationship is going to work or not. Something else is conflict. Is there conflict between these people? If you're going enemies to lovers, maybe there's some conflict between each other. Is there interior conflict? You shouldn't just say, well, this would be fun to write, so there really is no point to this. There should always be a point to any kind of love scene, whether that be a simple kiss or something that is a lot naughtier, like you have in a book like this. It can be fun to write those scenes and all of that, but make sure that you're thinking, what is this showing about the character? What is this showing about the relationship? What is being progressed here? Or what is being, not retrogressed, but, what's breaking apart because of this scene? There should be more going on, thematically, character-wise, plot-wise, than just a love scene by itself. Even if you are writing erotica under a pen name or something like that, there needs to be a purpose, right? There always needs to be that purpose to those scenes. What is it revealing? What is it progressing? And then last, I think this is last, I have some chaotic notes here that I took when I came up with the concept for this video, and got all excited about the things that I like to see and that I've learned. Last is be honest. There's a level of honesty that is going to really make your scene shine. If that is honesty about a very unorthodox kind of reaction to intimacy, like we see with works like the Kiss Quotient, then be honest. Don't say, oh, sure, I respond exactly like everybody else. Of course I like kissing. Who doesn't? Be honest about those experiences, or like physical sensations, thoughts, emotions. Just get very, very honest about the personality and the reality of the situation for this character. Really try to embody that character, so you can understand what kind of weight to give this, what language to use. Sometimes if you're writing sweet, it's going to be this hesitant, beautiful, simple kind of language. If your writing is more poetic and you have these almost mystical characters with very poetic personalities, then you might use this more poetic way of describing what's happening. You almost montage over it instead of spending moment by moment with the characters in that scene of intimacy. Or of course, if you're going to go very steamy, then you're going to talk more, and your characters are going to think more about what parts are where and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, focus on the characters. Do what you would do in really any scene when you're really inside your character's mind and their experience in that moment. All right, that felt a little bit rambly, but there you go. That is how to write a really good love scene. Consent, yes, clear choreography, but not a focus on that unless your character's personality and background would suggest that they want more of that focus. So yeah, focus on the personality, the background, the interior experience, and be honest about all of that. I think those tips are useful for whatever range of spice or not that you write. And these scenes are really important to people. If it's that Hallmark kiss at the end, that you want it to feel warm and fuzzy. If you're here for spice, you want it to be good spice. So yeah, those are my suggestions. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this. If you enjoy short and sweet romances, then check out Claire and the Christmas contest coming on July 1st. And until next week, see you later. Bye.